How's it going, everyone? I'm Daniel Rodriguez, aka Big D, and it is time for me to review a new show that I have been waiting to see all summer. And a few months ago, I found out I get Starz for free and Starz HD till December. So I was like, I saw this ad for the TV show in a theater once. I was like, like 40 minutes before the movie starts, and Patrick Stewart, and comedic and everything. I know he does stage and everything, so I was like, you know what? It really made me laugh. I was like, wow, Starz. Have Starz? I might as well watch it. So I watched it live, and let me tell you, it's awesome because it's 30 minutes. It's literally 30 minutes, no commercials, nothing. It's literally 30 minutes of content each week. And this is it, guys. Blunt Talk spoiler review. If you've not seen the episode, well, I've never done a Starz review, so I don't know. www.starz.com/Blunt Talk. I don't know if you get to see the full episode. If you missed it, I'll find out. But yeah, Blunt Talk Season 1, Episode 1, the series premiere. This episode is titled, which I'm just going to say series premiere. This is a long title, by the way. I'm not going to write all of it, but I seem to be running out of dreams for myself. That's a long title. No. So it should take me less than 2 minutes to recap the episode, give you my pros and cons, and final score. I'm just going to really recap it, I'm not going to dive deep into all of this. I'm just going to say the basics of this whole episode, really. First off, as we could tell, Walter Blunt, who is Patrick Stewart, he's an alcoholic. So that's one thing different from Professor X. And let me tell you, first off, I didn't see Patrick Stewart as Professor X. You think the whole episode, you're like, that's Professor X, but you see Walter Blunt, you see this, news broadcaster right away, and that's so perfect to Patrick Stewart, how he changes himself, of course, because most people, Patrick Stewart, Professor X, I'm going to watch it. I didn't see Professor X one bit. Not just character-wise, but you see Patrick Stewart, you always think, Professor X! Nope. Walter Blunt. Love it, man. Anyway, he's an alcoholic, and he's drunk in a bar, and he loves to tell stories, man. You can tell he's one of those guys that if you're in front of him and he's telling you a story, you're like, damn. Yeah, good story. Oh, you're continuing. Oh. And you want to say back off, but you don't want to be rude. He's just one of those guys where he just likes telling stories, and he's really knowledgeable when he can be, but he's an alcoholic. I'm talking like I know this guy. Anyway, so he tells stories, and he picks up this transvestite, this transgender, and that was very touching moment, because she's doing things in her life, and he's doing things in his life. Their lives aren't the best, but yet when they were in that moment together in the car, they kind of just had that one moment there where they were just human beings. You could just rewatch that part again. Second thing is the police arrive, and so we don't get to suck on the today. And police arrive and everything, and I love Patrick Stewart's humor, dude. He runs around the police car over and over, like 4 times, and the police keep on running after him. They don't think to go the other way to stop him. I love that part. So he gets on the car and everything, and Harry, his best friend, was in the back seat, and he was like, Major! Oh, Major! And it's so funny. They're so cool. He's like the Steve Janowski to, what's his name? Danny McBride's character from Eastbound and Down. I totally forgot. I'm sorry, I forget that iconic name. Okay, Eastbound and Down, another show. He's like Steve Janowski, Harry, so that's really cool. So he gives the car to his boss so he can do one last broadcast, because the whole America sees him as this bad person. What he did, he ruptured a policeman's balls, so he can't have kids now. Sucks. I should have had kids before, son. Either way, he ruptured a policeman's balls, and he doesn't look good on TV right now, so he's doing a broadcast, and he's going to interview himself. So this guy, I don't know his name, but he's a really funny guy. He reminds me of Martin Starr. He reminds me of him, but he's not. Martin Starr is currently on Silicon Valley, and he basically gives him sleeping pills instead of speed. So he's in therapy and everything, and he falls asleep. He wakes up. He's like, "Man, I'm sorry. I gave you the sleeping pills instead of speed." So he goes and does parts of the interview. He passes out again. He does cocaine, and man, he's so odd. Can I have some more, sir, please? Just the way he laughs and everything, I love it. So they do the interview live and everything, and he recorded he was really hard on himself, really. Like, it was so funny. Because he's just like, no, I'm not gonna do it. Stop. It's like, answer the question. Stop. It was like so funny. I couldn't stop laughing at that part. Those were the two main parts. When he's on top of the police car and he's talking about Hamlet and everything. He's quoting Hamlet. And then the other one is when he's doing the. I'm sorry, I get mixed for a second. When he's doing the interviewing himself, that was really funny. So other than that, he says he talks about, and I quote, the truth. He's basically apologizing to America, and he's like, "Let me do my job for you," and the truth. And he just falls back, man, and he's out. He's done for. He's done. He's okay, of course. It's only the series premiere, and let me tell you, I laughed few times in this episode, man. It was a fun time. It's fun to see these characters. I want to see more of these characters, of course, only. But these 30 minutes, they did impress me. I'm going to start with my pros first. First off, Walter Blunt, the character, the way it's written, you can tell by the end of the season, if they go the way that you think they're going to, like, you think this could be an iconic character one day. You know what I'm saying? Like, you say, oh, that character, Walter Blunt will join those characters one day where you remember that character. He's memorable. And I think that's what Patrick Stewart's really aiming for, and not like on purpose, but that's what he'll end up getting to, is just being a memorable character and a fun character. And you love him, you hate him, you laugh with him, you cry for him, you just do all those things. It seems like Walter Blunt is one of those characters, because he is human. He's funny. He's just a funny person. So there's the way his character's written in this episode alone, from being an alcoholic to just trying to be a broadcaster. And I love this Walter Blunt, just the way he does it. It's just perfect. The directing in this episode wasn't bad. I saw this on Stars HD and it looked freaking beautiful. The camera angles was nice and widescreen, baby. And the directing was totally fine. Nothing wrong with it. I had no problems with the directing. I think it all looked good. And of course, the news broadcast even looked like it was a natural news broadcast. It's funny overall. About 60% of this episode is funny to me. There is a little British humor there, and I do get British humor sometimes, but most times I don't. Sometimes I do. But no, this is like one or two British humors, not like a lot of British humor actually. But still, there are parts that made me laugh. The police part and the interview part. And then one or two parts in the middle. So I laughed about 5 or 6 times in total. Probably could have laughed about 10 times, but there are things that I missed, like where it didn't hit me, like, instead of those type of parts. I love the police scene, like I said, and the whole interviewing himself, and I love Harry. Harry's going to be an iconic person also. He's whipping him. You naughty boy. It's funny, man. It's beautiful. I love it because Patrick Stewart is going all out, and this guy's going all out. It's gonna be awesome. And then again, clever double interview, and I love the ending because when he fell down, I was like, "Don't end like this. Don't end like this." They ended it. No, I could have been at the mall on Saturday night, but you ended it like this. And honestly, I can't wait for next week, guys. I know, it's a series premiere. You're gonna give it an A+, man. No, there are a few cons in here. There's actually one con in general. It did get slow, like the conference room, and mind you, I want to know about these characters. The characters like that are at the table and everything. And he's with that girl, the older blonde girl. Not like don't know together, but he always gets with he spooned her and everything. It just got slower at that part in the conference room. They come back 2 times at that conference room, and it just got a little slow. It's like, it was getting funny, and then now you're gonna have that like slow moment. But again, it's the first episode. I'll get to know these characters over this season. There's one other con, really. The way they did the interview, and the way he's like, she said stop pressing what? And I guess they edited it in a sort of way, really mastered editing it to make him say what all the time. I'm assuming how they do that never going to be explained to us because I'm not a master editor. I'm not a master editor, but I want to know the way they did that, but I guess we'll never find out, because it's not a big con. It's like, F. It's not an F or anything. I'm just saying personally minded. Man, it was a good episode overall, guys. I'm going to give this series premiere a B+. It had its great moments, man, but overall it's just a good premiere. It's good. It's not a great premiere, but it's still good. A B+ is good. That's nothing wrong with that. It passed. It's good, man. Holy hell! And I can't wait. I recommend you guys to watch Blunt Talk if you find a way, or if I just spoiled it for you. I'm sorry, watch Blunt Talk, dude. Patrick Stewart, you're gonna love him. He's a funny character. I love the character so far. The other one, the one who gave him the sleeping pills, that guy again reminds me of Martin Starr. I can't wait to see more of him. The doctor thing, the therapist, that was getting interesting. Also getting more intimate. There's humanity in this, and then there's Party, like that 60, 70-year-old who just wants to be a 20-year-old again. So it's definitely a lot of meanings in here that could relate to some of you, could relate to none of us. So check it out again. Blunt Talk. I'll see you all next week for more. Also, a lot of more fall TV shows I am reviewing. I'm reviewing over 25 at the moment for my fall schedule, so check that out on my channel, guys. Please, be careful. I'll see you all next Saturday. This has been Walter Blunt. No, I'm not going to do that. That's his thing, man. May the spark be with you always. I'll see you next Saturday.